Every major regulation reset in Formula One has produced a new hierarchy, sometimes subtly, sometimes violently. I've watched this sport reinvent itself since the early 1980s, and if history teaches us anything, it is this. The team that dominates a new era is almost never the one people expect. When the turbos fell, McLaren rose. When V10S reigned, Ferrari built an empire. When hybrids arrived, Mercedes rewrote history. When ground effect returned in 2022, Red Bull ascended with frightening inevitability. And now, as we approach 2026, the biggest aerodynamic and power unit overhaul since the 5.6 hybrids, the paddock is humming with one question: who will rule the next era? To answer that, we must break down three decisive factors: technical readiness, organizational stability, and power unit capability. Only by examining these forces together can we predict which team is positioned to dominate the 2026 regulations. Let us begin with the most fundamental ingredient of future success: power units. The 2026 engines radically shift the balance between electrical and combustion power. The MGUH disappears entirely. The electric motor becomes as powerful as the internal combustion engine. Energy deployment strategies will shape overtaking, race pace, and tire usage. And while aerodynamics still matter greatly, the 2026 champion will be crowned by the team that best understands the new electrical philosophy. On this front, Mercedes stands as the most likely early favorite. They have been preparing for 2026 longer, deeper, and more methodically than any other manufacturer. The Mercedes High-Performance Powertrains division has lived through the entire hybrid era at the top, developing batteries, MGU systems, and thermal architectures that became industry benchmarks. Their PU for 2026 is rumored within the paddock to be exceptional, compact, efficient, highly effective in energy harvesting, and boasting an intelligent deployment curve that could give Mercedes the kind of advantage they enjoyed in 2014. If Mercedes' 2026 car concept is even moderately successful, the power unit alone could push them into a position of dominance. But power is not enough without organizational structure, something Mercedes nearly lost during their post-Hamilton era, but has been rebuilding step by step. Expect Mercedes to start the 2026 season near the front, with a genuine chance of recapturing the throne. However, the most dangerous threat to the entire grid may come from the team that has spent the last few years preparing its foundation with almost surgical precision: McLaren. No team has evolved more rapidly from 2022 to 2025. Their aerodynamic department is resurgent. Their leadership is stable. Their development accuracy is among the best in the paddock. The MCL platform has shown impressive correlation with future wind tunnel predictions, and crucially, McLaren's organizational culture has become ruthlessly efficient without losing the creativity that defines great racing teams. If McLaren executes their 2026 chassis with the same momentum they carried into 2024 and 2025, they could easily be the team that pounces hardest on the new regulation window. Their driver pairing remains elite. Their strategy team has matured. Their trackside operations have become some of the sharpest in modern F1. Combine all that with a Mercedes power unit, likely the strongest package of the new era, and you have a team with championship potential written all over it. McLaren may not merely fight for wins, they may become the defining powerhouse of the 2026 to 2030 cycle. But we cannot ignore the sleeping giant preparing to awaken: Audi. Manufacturer entries have historically altered the landscape of Formula One. Honda redefined McLaren. Renault powered Fernando Alonso's titles. Mercedes engineered an era of unprecedented dominance. When major automotive groups enter F1 with full factory support, they rarely aim for midfield survival. They aim for empire. Audi's preparation has been aggressive, deliberate, and methodical. Their new power unit is not merely an engine. It is a corporate project tied to the entire Volkswagen Group's technological roadmap. Audi has poured resources into energy recovery, cooling architecture, and hybrid power delivery, with the intensity of a manufacturer preparing for long-term success. The biggest uncertainty surrounding Audi is correlation. Can they build a chassis that exploits their PU's strengths? The Sauber Audi operation has already shown signs of rapid evolution. Their facilities are upgraded. Their recruitment has been bold. Their organizational discipline is improving. If their 2026 car concept is coherent, and if their power unit lands within striking distance of Mercedes, Audi could become the breakout threat of the new era. But what of Ferrari and Red Bull, the two titans whose shadows cover the sport? Ferrari may benefit from the reset, but domination is unlikely. While their power unit will be strong, their track record with hybrid deployment strategies has been inconsistent. Their aerodynamic department, though improved, remains vulnerable to correlation issues. Ferrari will compete, perhaps even win races, but to dominate, they would need an organizational stability the team has not possessed since the Schumacher era. 2026 will be a step forward, but likely not a revolution. Red Bull, meanwhile, faces the most uncertain future of any top team. They enter 2026 with three unprecedented challenges: building their first full in-house power unit, an undertaking no team has successfully achieved on the first attempt; replacing the conceptual genius of Adrian Newey, whose absence will be felt most acutely during a rule reset; managing the internal political fractures that surged through the organization during the Horner controversy. Add to this the new regulations, which limit many of the aero freedoms Newey exploited, and Red Bull's era of dominance is at serious risk. They will remain competitive. They are too well structured to collapse. But domination? The paddock whispers a different word: decline. So, which team will dominate? Let us examine the contenders one by one in a final assessment. Mercedes, best power unit prospects, renewed organizational clarity, strong technical foundations equals likely early favorite to set the benchmark. McLaren, elite aerodynamic momentum, exceptional development accuracy. Mercedes engine partnership, young, hungry, balanced driver lineup equals the most complete package entering 2026. Audi, full factory support, manufacturer-level powertrain investment, rapid organizational evolution equals possible shock contender, especially from 2027 onward. Ferrari, improved structure under Vasseur, strong ICE knowledge, hybrid system inconsistency, cultural volatility equals possible race winner, unlikely dominant force. Red Bull, strong trackside operations, remaining aerodynamic expertise, first-time power unit project, Newey departure, internal politics, yes, competitive, but no longer invincible. So, who will dominate? If you forced every veteran in the paddock, myself included, to place a bet today, the answer would be simple. McLaren and Mercedes are the most likely to dominate the 2026 regulations, with McLaren having the highest ceiling and Mercedes having the safest floor. One has the momentum of a rising powerhouse. The other has the pedigree of a champion reborn. But Formula One is never that simple. Every era brings a surprise. In the 1980s, it was Williams. In the 1990s, it was Benetton. In the 2000s, it was Ferrari. In the 2010s, Mercedes. In the 2020s, Red Bull. Which team will shock us in 2026? If the foundations being laid today are any indication, the next era of Formula One may be defined by a new rivalry, McLaren versus Mercedes. With Audi looming in the shadows, a new age is coming, a new champion will rise, and the 2026 season will rewrite the story of modern Formula One.